Hi, we're back in my kitchen again, but we're doing something way different today. Earlier this week, my sister who lives in England, my sister Susie, who I love so much, sent me a box of goodies and treats and surprises from England. And one of the things in the box was this bottle of mysterious goodness. It's called Tracklement's Sweet Mustard Ketchup. Now, you cannot get this here in the United States that I know of. You can get it on Amazon, but it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you to get it on Amazon. Just warning you. Okay. Yellow ketchup, what? Mustard ketchup, what? Now, keep this in mind. Traditionally, ketchup was not always the red tomato ketchup that we associate with today that we put on our French fries. It was a sauce used as a condiment that contained vinegar, mostly mushrooms and walnuts. It was a condiment that the Pilgrims brought over to this country way back in the day. So she has actually in the past sent me bottles of mushroom ketchup, which is just a brown liquid. It looks a lot like maybe soy sauce or something along that line. That is absolutely fantastic. So this is a ketchup, meaning that it has spices and vinegar in it, but it is a sweet mustard ketchup. So what do you do with this? I don't know. She said in her letter, I'm not reading the whole thing, it's kind of personal. The mustard ketchup is really nice. I found this recipe in the People's Friend, and we don't get the People's Friend here in America, and that's why we're in the shape we're in. I'm not one for mustard normally, but I can't get enough of this mac and cheese. I know you will like trying different flavors, so I thought I'd send you some. I use extra mature cheddar. She lives in England where cheddar cheese, I got Walmart cheddar. So I add an extra tablespoon of mustard to balance. I have a couple of other cheese-based recipes I'm going to try it in, etc., etc., etc. So she sent me the recipe out of the People's Friends for mac and cheese with sweet mustard ketchup, and I'm going to make that to go with our dinner tonight. Now, if you have seen British cooking shows or have been abroad and read recipes, they don't measure their ingredients out in like cups, tablespoons, teaspoons like we do. Everything is measured in grams and ounces and etc., etc., etc. So she's kindly converted the recipe for me. So let's go make some mac and cheese with sweet mustard ketchup. Let's go. Okay, so here is the recipe I'm going to be using, and if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, now's your time. And she's written the American equivalents next to the British measurement, units of measurement. I can't talk, you guys. All right, so here's what we're going to have. We've got 3 cups of macaroni. We're going to use salt and pepper to taste, 250 grams or about 9 ounces. She wrote one small broccoli, so we're going to pretend like that's what we're going to use. The men folk like broccoli, so if it's too much, it'll be enough. Let's see, we're going to use 4 ounces or a quarter of a cup of butter, a quarter of a cup of flour, 3 generous tablespoons of the honey mustard. 4 tablespoons is a quarter of a cup, so I've got just shy of a quarter of a cup here, and I did taste it. It's so different in an amazing way, but damn. We have 2 cups of milk. I'm going to use a little bit of breadcrumbs and 2 cups of cheese. And let's get started because my water is boiling and the menfolk will get hungry. So this is what we're going to start out with. Okay, I have boiled my 3 cups of macaroni until it's almost done, and then threw in my broccoli just a couple of minutes before I pull this off of the stove. I don't want this overcooked, and that's what the recipe says too. You want it almost done because it will be cooking a little bit longer in the oven, and you don't want mush. So this is just about ready. And then I'm going to drain this and put it in my pan, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so this makes quite a bit. This is my 9 by 13 baking dish. It's a deeper dish too. And this is going to make enough for more than one meal, and depending on how many folks you're feeding, I reckon. But this already looks kind of fun. And so now I'm going to make a roux. And this, whoops, my kitchen's dirty. I'm making dinner, y'all. We're going to make a roux. And then I want to get this going so I can get it in my, I've got a tenderloin I'm fixing, and I've got a honey and brown sugar glaze to go onto it. I'm going to want to put them both in the oven at the same time so I can finish it at the same time. So let's get done. You guys are going to have to sit right here for a minute. I've got a 1/4 cup of butter in my saucepan already, getting it melted. I'm going to need my 1/4 cup of flour here. Where's my recipe? And my 2 cups of cheese, and my 2 cups of milk. And the recipe also called for a 1/2 mug of water that you boiled the pasta in. Now I have mugs this size, and I have mugs this size. See? Now we're gonna go bigger, just in case. Just in case. All right, let's get this going. So I'm gonna need my flour, and I'm gonna need my whisk, and excuse my reach. Let's go ahead and turn this up. It did not say on that recipe whether or not you should spray your baking dish, but I did, just again to err on the side of caution. I'm going to try to move you guys over. Hang on, I don't want to get you sick, but I know y'all probably want to just be fascinated by this process. Okay, I do apologize, but I got things to do here. So melting my butter here on a medium heat at the moment. What does it say? Yep, wrong recipe. Okay, so reserve 1/2 mug. What size is a mug, England? Put the pasta in an oven-proof dish. Put the butter in a saucepan and melt over medium heat. Okay, flour, milk. Stir until smooth and thick. Right? So we're making a roux, and then we're going to add the milk, which is basically a white sauce, and then we'll melt our cheese in here. Once our sauce is thickened, then we'll add the sweet mustard ketchup. The more I sample this, the better I like it. It's indescribable. I could not tell you what that reminds me of. It's got mustard seed in it. It has spices in it. It's not like a stone ground mustard. It's not like a Dijon mustard. I don't know what that is, but possibly addicting. We'll see how this turns out. Okay, so my butter is bubbling now, but I don't want it to burn. So I hope you guys can watch me do this. Okay, so I'm just like I did with my gravy. I'm going to slowly stir my flour in, because I don't want a big old clump of it. And then I want to cook that flour. So I'm just cooking the flour down. I don't want to get that burn taste, and that's easy to do when you're first learning how to make sauces or gravies or anything like that, is to overcook that flour and get that burn taste, or you don't cook it enough and you get a flour taste like paste. So again, I think this is going to come down to just practice and experience. Okay, so this is starting to turn a little bit goldy. My lighting in here sucks, I know, and I apologize. But it's an old house, and I'm an old woman, so. Okay, so this is nice and thick. So now I'll pour in my 2 cups of milk. And I think I can kick the heat up just a bit on this now to get that to thicken. Again, you know, we as women, we do this dance in the kitchen every night when we cook. We have to have in our minds, first of all, we wake up, and the first thing we do when we wake up is think, how are we going to end our day? What are we going to have for dinner? What do I have on hand? Do I need to pull meat out of the freezer and get it thawed? How much meat do I need? So that's how we start our days. And then once we're fixing our dinners, it's all a dance that we have to teach ourselves as far as getting everything to come together at the same time. That's my glaze for my tenderloin here. I'm going to put half of that on there, and then the other half will go on about halfway through the... So some things we learn to hurry up, and other things we learn to slow down. But it is a dance, and kudos to us for being able to pull it off night after night without punching somebody in the throat. All right, so this sauce is wanting, I can feel it. It doesn't look like it's trying to thicken up. Snapple. But I can feel it trying to want to thicken up. I know that's weird, but if you've done this, you know what I'm talking about. What's Liza chasing outside? This is where we all get to know our own stoves and which burners end up being our favorite. This stove has the large burner on the left-hand side, and I don't like it. Most, I think, stoves these days tend to have the larger burner on the left-hand side, but I'm right-handed. I want that larger burner on the right side. That's just me. But I know this burner is a little uneven, and where to set it for what temperatures. It's just we get to know our cooktops and our stoves. We get to know them almost on an intimate basis because it's just an extension of ourselves. All right, come on, thicken sauce. So if you've ever wanted to know how to make a white sauce, this is it. Okay. Okay, I had to put some foil over my tenderloin, which I browned it and seared the edges, and I'm going to stick it in the oven the same time I'm going to put this in. And then this is all going to cook for at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 to 30 minutes. So those both should be done about the same time for sure. Ooh, okay, this is thickening. This is thickening. Okay. Don't let this get scorched on the bottom. If you scorch it because you've walked away for too long, you have to start over. If it scorches on the bottom of it, you'll never get that taste out of your sauce. So I don't know, can you guys see it's thickening and bubbling? So let me turn this down a bit. And then I'm going to add my cheese. Oh, come on. I usually buy the big blocks of cheese and then use my food processor to shred them down. It tastes better to me than the pre-shredded cheese. And then I freeze it in 2-cup portions. Wow, there's that. Okay, we can go ahead and turn that fire off. Can you guys even see this? No. Look at this. Let me pull you guys out a bit. There we go. Again, I don't have a videographer. Ugh, yummy. All right, now it says to add that generous 3 tablespoons, or just under a quarter of a cup, of the sweet mustard ketchup. Wow, that turned it yellow. It's so pretty. And then a little bit of pasta water. Again, a half a mug. I don't know how much of a mug is. It's probably 10 ounces over there. Their portions are a lot more moderate than our supersized everything here. Oh, look at that. Yes, okay, I see. I think that's going to be enough water. All right. Oops, splash, make a mess. All right, let's get this thrown to get into our macaroni over there, and we'll get it in the oven. Just for kicks and giggles, though. Just for kicks and giggles. I'm going to taste this. Do I have a spoon? I do have a spoon. Because I might want... Oh my goodness. Well, if a little bit is good, a little bit more should be better. Maybe I wonder what's in this stuff. It's like crack or something, I think, because the more I taste it, the more I want it. All right, let's go get this over here in our macaroni. Okay, so, season to taste, pour the sauce over the cooked drained pasta and broccoli, sprinkle with breadcrumbs, and bake in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. Alrighty, so, I didn't put any salt and pepper in that. I don't know if I'll put a little. But I really don't know if that needs a whole lot of salt. I didn't put much in there at all. Because this stuff here, kids, that's packing some flavor. Like, what is it? Okay, so let me pour this over my macaroni. And stir this up. Do you have to cover it? Let me see. Nope, just says bake in the oven. So I did, again, I went ahead and just sprayed a little bit of... Is she in the tree? Liza! Oh my goodness, my dog's going nuts out there. I think she's up in the tree chasing a squirrel. Wow, this is some serious yellow mac and cheese. Okay. Make sure all that macaroni is equally covered. Okay, Susan, I hope I'm doing this the way you did it. Doing it for Queen and Country here. Okay. Now, I don't have fresh breadcrumbs, so I'm just going to use store-bought breadcrumbs, but I want to taste this real quick. Oh man. Well, let's finish. Okay. I'm not going to put too much on here because, well, you know, we wouldn't want to fix something fattening now, would we? Okay. All right, so I'm going to put this in my pork tenderloin into the oven for 30 minutes or so, and I'll show it to what it looks like when we get it out. Okay, it's just come out of the oven, and it's still bubbly, and we're about to tuck into this. So let me get the loin sliced, and I'll get little dude's plate fixed, and we'll take a better look at this. Okay, now the recipe says this pan equals 4 servings. So I'm thinking that they're meaning for it to be eaten as a meal in itself. And if it's going to taste the way I think it's going to taste, it will probably would be awesome to use this recipe as a casserole and just chop up some ham and throw it in there when you stick it in the oven. But let's take a taste here. So, oh my goodness sakes.
What's all in it?
Little dude's asking what's in it. Broccoli, macaroni,
Yes.
homemade macaroni and cheese. Oops.
Okay.
A little bit of. And then some special stuff Aunt Susie sent called sweet mustard ketchup to season it with. And a little bit of breadcrumbs. I'm going to take a little taste of it though, okay? We're taking a taste.
I'm not a big fan of mustard, but I'll try it.
It's not like regular mustard.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I will be making this again. And I think when I make it again, I'm going to chop up some ham steak and throw it in here and just call it a casserole. But that's good. Thank you, Susie, for sending me that much love. All right, we got to eat. We got hungry folks. I'll see you guys next time. What do you think of this? Would you try it? Let me know.